Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite Mr. Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country.
Thank you. Budjumulinawool, everyone. Good morning and Nalawa. Welcome. Welcome to the lands of the Wallamedigal. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to firstly pay my respects to the country and its people, and to thank the university for their acknowledgement of us and the invitation to welcome you here this morning. That acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated. My family, in fact, descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burrabongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it. So he enrolled his daughter, Wollongari, or Maria, into the Native Institute, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and eventually secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them, and it became known as the Blackstown, where the present-day city of Blacktown gets its name. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here today. And with good reason. Your success is our success. Your advancement, our advancement. Now that was probably better understood in traditional times when camp groups were smaller and clans abided by strict sharing laws, which meant that the food that you caught and brought back was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune were thus enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the rest of the community, and you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we work together. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions like this to offer them to yourselves as a model or a benchmark on how good to expect our lives today. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 200 years ago, he encountered not a primitive people, but an ancient culture. He described the people he met as one of the happiest people he'd ever met in the world. They had nothing, he wrote, but the tools they carried. They were naked, made their shelters from the bark of trees without cutting them down, and harvested food from the earth without excessive tilling or clearing. There was no slavery, no rich and poor, and no homelessness. Armies were unheard of, as were forts, jails, or even fences. People cooperated to collect the resources that were needed, which were then shared out according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in their natural state, through fire and responsible harvesting, and our rivers and waterways kept clean and unpolluted, where people have been drinking out of here for the past 20,000 years, until recently. So remember, this is not a dream or a vision or an ideal. This was normal life for us for the longest time and not too long ago. And I don't think there is any reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. Admittedly, there's a lot more of us, but we're a clever people, and I believe there's still much magic in the world. So graduates, I would say expect great and wonderful things from your life. Life is good, in fact, life is wonderful, and we are normally a very happy people. So share your gifts with the rest of us, keep following that beautiful spirit within that brought you this far, and I believe that together we can put together a country and a world that we can be proud of, and a future that is worthy of our children. We can all do our bit. I will do mine now by winding up and letting you graduate. I just want to say congratulations to all of you and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you. Welcome to country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now pleased to introduce the Vice-Chancellor of Macquarie University, Professor Bruce Dowden.
Well, thank you, Chris Tobin. It's wonderful to have you here for your welcome to country and to remind us that the Darug Nation have nurtured, that your customs and cultures have nurtured this land since the dream time. So thank you, Chris, for being here again. Colleagues, guests, families and friends, and most importantly, our new graduands today, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you here for today's graduation ceremony. I hope this will be a very happy and memorable occasion for everyone. I particularly welcome any small children whom we might have with us today, and babies. As the Chancellor, from whom I bring you greetings today, the Honourable Michael Egan, apologises. He's not able to be here today, he has another commitment, but as the Chancellor always reminds us at graduations, any celebration is far better for having children present. So you shouldn't be concerned if there are children here, if they want to squirm around or make a little noise. I am a paediatrician by training. I've heard far worse. And when the Chancellor is here, he reminds us that he is a politician by background. And in the House of Parliament, he's certainly heard far worse. So young children, babes in arms, are very welcome at graduations at Macquarie University. The Chancellor also has a view that if a baby screams during graduation, it's a very good sign. It predicts that they'll be back within 25 years to take out their own PhD. So babies, go for it. Today we celebrate the wonderful achievements of our graduands here today. Completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind, determination and perseverance, and you need indeed to make many sacrifices along the way as well. All of you have worked very hard to get here today, and you have every right to feel very proud of your accomplishment. We at the university are equally as proud today of those accomplishments, and I'm pleased to be able to congratulate each and every one of our graduands here today. I also want to especially welcome your guests to my left and in my right at the rear. And you are here as the guests of our graduands, and that is a signal that you have played also a very important part in their journey. It's proof positive that you have had an amazing influence on their lives and their stay with us here at Macquarie University. So congratulations to each and every one of you here today as well, and I'm delighted that you are here and able to celebrate this wonderful occasion with us. Graduands, you may not realise that you are about to participate in one of the oldest of European social rituals. If we cast our mind back and pick a date of, say, 1500 AD and look at what social institutions were in existence then that are still in existence in modern society today, there are about 60 such social institutions. If you leave aside the parliaments of England, Iceland and the Isle of Man and the Roman Catholic Church and 6 Swiss cantons or local government districts, the rest are all universities. In fact, graduation ceremonies at universities are even older than that. For more than 800 years, graduates have been donning gowns just like the ones you are wearing today and participating in ceremonies very like the one we are about to embark upon here now. And since those earliest graduations, the ceremony has remained almost unchanged, a defining feature of the life of every modern university in the world and its students. We all realise, of course, that Macquarie University is not one of those old universities. We are, in fact, a very young university. Just 3 years ago, we celebrated our 50th Jubilee. But we are very proud to take part in that time-honoured tradition here today. Youth, however, does have its advantages. Macquarie is a very modern, outward-looking and nimble university. We are regarded as one of Australia's leading research universities and are continually progressing and advancing our research, our course offerings and our facilities. We now have over 176,000 graduates spanning 140 countries around the world. It's very clear that we are a forward-looking university and that we are on the move. However, some of the things that we value at Macquarie University will not change. The friendliness of our staff and students. Our visitors notice this repeatedly and make comments to us all the way along. Remember, you will always be welcome here. We proudly take our name of Macquarie University from Australia's, in my view, finest colonial governor, the 5th governor of the early colony of New South Wales, Lachlan Macquarie. Those of us who were schooled in New South Wales would have learned about Macquarie as a great builder, and many of the buildings around Sydney are revered because he was instrumental in organising for their design and construction. But the reality is that Macquarie's greatest legacy to Australian society today is not anything about buildings, in my view. It is about his countenance of an early view of a civil society for that early fledgling convict colony. Because it was Governor Lachlan Macquarie who decreed, much to the annoyance of the British authorities back in the home country, that there would be no distinction between the free and the freed, that a convict once freed would be treated as a free man. And that is, I believe, the origin of the Australian notion of a fair go for everyone. And that is a tradition which we hold very dearly at this university and always will protect and guard. Macquarie will always be a leader in teaching and learning, a leader in the accumulation of wisdom, knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. Ladies and gentlemen, academic and professional colleagues, and most importantly, our graduands, I offer you the warmest of welcomes to Macquarie University on this grand occasion. And in just a few moments, it will be my great privilege and honour to confer upon the graduands today your degrees for which you have qualified. And in doing so, I will welcome you as lifelong member of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker for today, Dr. Susan Green. Dr. Green completed her Bachelor of Arts and Diploma of Education qualifications at the University of Sydney. She has a Master of Arts and a Doctorate of Philosophy from Macquarie University, and we are proud to claim Dr. Green as one of our own. Her PhD in English Literature combined literary analysis with ideas from cognitive science to examine the representation of consciousness in the novels of Virginia Woolf and Ian McEwan. While studying at this university, she tutored undergraduate students in the Department of English, and she also completed a graduate certificate in higher education. She has taught at both independent and state high schools and is currently the relieving deputy principal at Hornsby Girls High School. I now invite Dr. Susan Green to deliver the occasional address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Green.
Thank you very much, Vice-Chancellor, academic staff, distinguished guests, graduands, families and friends. I am most honoured to be delivering the occasional address on this very significant day. This graduation ceremony for the Faculty of Arts formally marks an exceptional moment in your life, what Virginia Woolf might describe as a moment of being. Today is a celebration. It represents an enormous achievement and something for which you deserve to be most proud. And in your academic gowns, you look magnificent. The formalities of today, the ceremony, the processions, the ritual, all have a long history in higher education and the world of academia. Today formally marks a transition for you all. You will officially have the degree which some years back felt hard to imagine. The conferring of your degree is a public pronouncement of your efforts and achievement. It is also a stamp on your identity and on your values. Everyone here clearly values education, higher education, the discoveries you make, the challenge and the joy of extending your intellectual capacities. Education is both a privilege and it is a human right. I say this most conscious of the fact that not so long ago, a university education and the attainment of a degree in Australia and other countries was the province of only rich males. Today does not mark the end of your education. In so many ways, today's celebration, this exceptional moment in your life, heralds a beginning. After all, education is a lifelong pursuit and a lifelong pleasure. While your degree will undoubtedly help you professionally, either launching your career or furthering your career, your education has helped you and will continue to help you in your personal life in ways you are not even aware of as yet. Higher education opens doors. The subjects you've studied, the books and articles read, the papers submitted and presented are testament to your commitment, motivation and goals. And whether you have reflected upon this or not, your life is already immeasurably enriched. Through your hard work, formally recognised today, you are empowered to better understand both the world around you and yourself. Your education gives you a powerful voice. Your degree has taught you to analyse, to reason, to argue, and yes, these are important skills. But what's distinctive about your arts degree, what sets it apart, is that you have also learnt how to think critically and imaginatively. These skills are empowering professionally and personally and are needed more than ever right now in this time of so-called post-truths. Arts degrees privilege personal expression, imagination, curiosity, creative thinking and resistant thinking. Arts degrees recognise the importance of the emotions, of individual and collective emotional experiences and responses. Your arts degrees in English, ancient history, Indigenous Studies or philosophy have helped you to understand the lives and experiences of others. So what have I done with my arts degrees from Macquarie University? Well, I'm the relieving deputy principal at Hornsby Girls High School, and before that I was the head of the English department there. In these roles, I prepare clever young women for life, and an integral aspect of this is preparing them for higher education so that one day, like you, they can forge their higher educational path and continue to expand their minds. When I sat in this hall ready to be presented with my master's degree, as some of you are now, it was with a sense of pride, but also with some frustration because I didn't want to leave. I knew that I wanted to keep studying. As a teacher, becoming a student again was very good for me, reminding me how humbling and confronting it can be to receive marks for a piece of writing. The year I graduated with my Master of Arts, I also resigned from my permanent teaching position at a good school, and my desire to continue my formal education at Macquarie had become a craving. I was awarded a scholarship to complete my PhD and spent 4 years here exploring the wonders of consciousness. I was extremely fortunate to have as my supervisors Professor Antonina Harbus and Professor John Sutton, two generous, inspiring academics. For my research, I used recent ideas from the cognitive sciences, the fields of psychology and philosophy of mind, to shed new light on the novels of Virginia Woolf and Ian McEwan, two writers who share a mutually intense interest in representing subjective experience, what it feels like to be alive. My cross-disciplinary exploration of the ways consciousness is represented in fiction became my full-time job. I explored areas such as memory, the phenomenon of mind wandering, theory of mind and distributed cognition. What a joy. I also taught in the Department of English, which was an enormous pleasure as I missed teaching and thoroughly enjoyed teaching university students. Macquarie funded my travel to England and to Scotland to present at conferences and to undertake research at the British Library and the University of Suffolk. Cognitive literary studies was a very new field of study at the time. One of my articles, which was published in the journal English Studies in 2010, was this year included in a special issue reprint on the mind. My article reprint suggests that not only has my research remained relevant, but that there is clearly an increasing interest in the literary representation of consciousness and therefore what the arts has to offer in terms of better understanding the human mind. As an English teacher, I find it exciting to know that there is an ever-growing body of thought that argues that fiction helps people understand each other because literature is the most intense and nuanced expression of the human mind. And this has real-world application. And this is what your particular arts degrees have fostered. Your degrees have immersed you in open, inclusive, plural ways of thinking. Your degrees have expanded your imaginative capacities. Your degrees have refined your imaginations to see the world through the eyes of others. You are better for this, and so is our society. Philosopher Martha Nussbaum, a well-known advocate for the arts, argues that the arts have always been central to education because they've been seen as essential to creating democratic citizens. Arts degrees produce students like you to be independent, critical thinkers. You have become knowledgeable as well as empathetic members of society. So today is a celebration of what you have achieved and the many personal and professional doors that are now open to you. I sincerely wish you every success. Enjoy this moment. Congratulations. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen and graduands, I think you've heard a wonderful occasional address there today from Dr. Susan Green, and a lot of wise thoughts and wise advice for our graduates mixed in there. I was particularly drawn to the idea from Dr. Green about the desire that we all should have to remain open, to remain inquisitive, and to remain pluralistic in our view of the world as we go forward. If we have those three countenances, I think all of us will see the world in a new light. We'll see how we can make a contribution to this, particularly folks who come from a graduation ceremony in a Faculty of Arts. And I think you can see in Dr. Green here the wonderful emblem that she represents of someone who has pursued her passion for teaching to want to come back into the university repeatedly to take more study and pursue research, and the opportunities that that has afforded to her. What a wonderful ambassador for this university you are, and we thank you again for being here today. Thank you so much. Please join me in thanking you. As Vice-Chancellor of Macquarie University, I especially look forward to presiding at ceremonies such as today's and the conferral of degrees within those ceremonies upon those who have complied with the university's requirements for such awards. I now call upon the Registrar and Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Deirdre Anderson, to formally certify the eligibility of all of those who have met the requirements for these awards. Deirdre, thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, I certify that all the candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission please stand?
In the name of Macquarie University Council and by the authority delegated from Council to me as Vice-Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees for which you are qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Please be seated. Vice-Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Arts. I now call on Professor Martina Mollering, the Executive Dean of the Faculty, to present the graduates. Professor Mollering.
Vice-Chancellor, students and staff in this faculty work together within and across disciplinary boundaries to ask questions about socially complex problems. They identify paths of research, analyse and communicate ideas in creative formats, and reflect on the skills and knowledge they will need to understand the world, past, present and future. Students are encouraged to use their skills and talents to connect with local and global communities. This faculty includes research and study areas in ancient history, anthropology, English, Indigenous Studies, International Studies, law, media, music, communication and cultural studies, modern history, politics and international relations, philosophy, sociology, and security studies and criminology. Vice-Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Arts whom you have admitted to degrees. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Commerce, Jelena Sharovic. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Science, Lydia Craig. Calton Jarvis. Reese Keogh. Amy Sutton. Nicholas Vasiliev. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Ancient History, Catherine Elizabeth N. Bartle. Philip Douglas Brophy. Ilana Irene Chaffee. David Anthony Thomas Chapman. Emily Corbin. Mia Daldengo. Lauren DeMont. Cinzia Fiorenza. Nicole Holmes. Heather Johnston. Liam Francis Kavanagh. Rayleigh Jordan Lancaster. Jessica Catherine Moore. Romy Elizabeth Oosterhout. Madison Eliza Quailgates. Judy Simpson, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Drew Kenneth Williams. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Chloe Elizabeth Appleby. Alexander Anthony Ayuru. Stephen Christopher Bailey. Natasha Baramilis. Danielle Virginia Barnes. Irma Blanco. Lauren Gay Brooks. Luke Bergen. Catherine Ann Cairns. Ashley Clark. Pamela Ann Collis. Lachlan Cottrell. Hannah Coop. Isabel Beatrice Crawford. Nicole Crichton. Kathleen Amber Dawson. Chloe Elector Freitas. Peter Dickerson. Ashley Di Natale. Lauren Fagan. Chantal Fossé. Tanya Elizabeth Fulton. Amy Charlotte Garpendal. Kira Geddes, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Kylie Marie Gilbert. Simon Grant. Kurt Gray. Jane Jeeves. Jonathan Edward Hale, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Jacqueline Herbomi. Laura Ruth Allen Harris. Madeline Zoe Isaacs Brown. Claire Marie Jones. Amanda Curry Julius. Joanne Kammert. Julian Knight. Stephanie Constandanos. Joshua La Rosa. Kim Elizabeth Lavender. Lydia Ellen Lindfield. Claire Rose Millett. Kimberly Marie Milton. Gulnaz Mehta. John Charles Mounsey. Kaho Ryan Owen. Louis Arthur O'Neill. Rebecca Nicole Palmer. Misha Claire Parkey. Liam Keith Pavich. Riley Quinn. Amina Samina Qureshi. James Colin Renshaw. Bethany Robinson. James Duncan Wooming. Adam Schwartz. Laura Spiegel. Danielle Marie Smith. William Bruce Spence. Katie Strong. Sophie Tsulaki. Melinda Gay Wardlaw. Nicholas Hayden Webworth. Guy Stephen Webster. Rumble Whitwell. Alison Sabina Williams. Alexi Dennis Wolf. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Science. Anna Shaw. Oliver James Jacobi. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Ancient History. Kiri Louise Duncan. Mariangela Isidora Oziecki. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Arts. Liam James Cottrell. David Alexander Manning Hingston, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Stamatiki Tula Kritas, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Margaret Lamond, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Mark Matthew Matic. Wendy N. McCarthy. David Philip McMahon. Carrie John Hayes Payden, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. Vicky Petrakis. Nicola Lynn Robinson, who has been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for Academic Excellence. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Indigenous Education. Jessica May Brown. Michelle Leah Finneran. Karen Therese Horder. Megan Louise Jamie. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Research and the University Medal in English, Ebony Annabelle Daly Carey, for a thesis entitled "They Are All of Them Bumping Along as Helplessly as Silver Balls in a Pinball Machine, Reconstructing Subjectivity in Contemporary Young Adult Fiction." Present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Research. Scott Jamie Allen for a thesis entitled Dark Dynasty, the Formation of the Second Dynasty in Ancient Egypt. Georgia Laura Barker for a thesis entitled Funerary Models versus Wall Scenes, a study of agricultural pursuits and food production to the end of the Middle Kingdom. Victoria Brookman for a thesis entitled Commodified Bodies and Absent Communities, Maternal and Economic Demands in Edward, Morrison, Shriver, Fallon and Sale, and a novel extract. Wrapped. Thomas Alexander Corbin for a thesis entitled The Role of Council in Hobbes' Political Thought. Emma Hurwell Evans for a thesis entitled Genre Meshing in Chaucer and Shakespeare's Accounts of the Legend of Troilus and Cressida. Susan Ann Kelly for a thesis entitled Identifying the Women of Early Dynastic Egypt, an analysis of the women's funerary stelae slabs from Abu Rawash, Helwan, and Abydos. Samantha Lewis for a thesis entitled Knowing Their Space, Feminist Geography and Embodiment in Catherine Mansfield's Short Stories. James Anthony McLaren for a thesis entitled Social Evolution and Power Strategies of the RNH1 Central Highlands of Israel, a new evolutionary perspective on the Israelite settlement. Natalie Milanas for a thesis entitled Characterization, Cross-Dressers and Castrated Men in Late Antique Hagiography. Helen Louise Neal for a thesis entitled The Neferhotep Stela Revisited, Kingship, Authority and Legitimacy and the abbess Thela of Neferhotep I. Emmanuel Romanes, for a thesis entitled Evidence for the Influence of Atticus Lexica on Non-Literary Papyri of the First 3 Centuries CE. Melinda N. Emma Ryan, for a thesis entitled Through the Oculi of Pliny the Elder, a gendered representation of Roman women as patients and healers. Cindy Lee Scott, for a thesis entitled Reconciling the Art of Ancient Egypt, a study of the development of mediums, compositional techniques, and representational concepts from the pre-dynastic to the dynastic period. Gillian Clare Greensmith, for a thesis entitled The Area of Pylons 4, 5 and 6, Assessing the Architecture, Sequence of Construction and Ensuing Historical Implications. Robert Michael Snell, for a thesis entitled A Dark Universal, Towards a Themistic Theory of Evil. Sarah Louise Turner, for a thesis entitled Rome Hath No Fury, a gendered analysis of Attia and Sevilla in HBO BBC's Rome. Colin N. Zurowski, for a thesis entitled Contemporary Carnivals, a Bakhtinian Approach to Popular Humorous Children's Literature. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Cassandra Lee Bennett, for a thesis entitled The Religious Beliefs of the Saphitic Arabians. Dr. Aaron Mark de Souza, for a thesis entitled Crossed Lines, an analysis of the Pangrave ceramic tradition in Upper Egypt, Lower Nubia and beyond. Dr. Nathan Gregory Finger, for a thesis entitled The First World War in British Theatre. Dr. Graham Lex Ford, for a thesis entitled Persian Translating at the Ming Court. Dr. Marie-Louise Hartley, for a thesis entitled Pause in the Sand, the emergence and development of the use of canines in the funerary practice of the ancient Egyptians, circa 5000 BC to 395 AD. Dr. Carla Marie Liuzzo for a thesis entitled Contesting Arab-Australian Identity through a study of Egyptian Australians and the Arab Spring. Dr. George William Mackay for a thesis entitled Ancient Greek at Work, a pragmatic approach to business letters in the 3rd century BCE Egypt. Dr. Messina Papandoniou for a thesis entitled Multiculturalism's Challenge to Sydney Anglican Identity, a study of the minority radical tradition, 1987 to 2000. Dr. Stephen George Reed for a thesis entitled Take Care of Compassion and Doctrine Will Take Care of Itself, toward a post-doctrinal evangelicalism. Dr. Paul James Rowe for a thesis entitled Making the Invisible Story Visible, an argument for publicly articulating the neglected Christian chapter of Australia's modern history through a storytelling teaching sanctuary in the national capital. Dr. Jennifer N. Simpkins for a thesis entitled Modern Myth Creation in the Science Fiction of Wells, Clark, Dick and Herbert. Dr. Susan Patricia Turner for a thesis entitled The Horse in New Kingdom Egypt, its introduction, nature, role and impact. Vice-Chancellor, that completes this morning's presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Arts.
Vice-Chancellor, I now call on Misha Claire Parkey, who graduated today with a Bachelor of Arts, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Ms. Parkey.
Vice-Chancellor, members of the university, guests and my fellow graduates, welcome. I am honoured to be standing up here today, looking upon you all as you begin your lives as Macquarie University graduates, all with a variety of arts degrees. When I first arrived at the university, I was adamant, like I'm sure many of you were, that I knew exactly where I was headed. I was going to get my Bachelor of Arts degree, majoring in English and creative writing. I was on the path to becoming a book publisher, and my main dream of being a published author was the force that was driving me forward. Macquarie University has provided me with a breadth of opportunities that I never even considered existed at university. For 3 years, I was privileged to have walked amongst 19th century feminists, discovered Aphra Behn, Sarah Scott, and other long-lost influential female writers, spent time revelling in the Gothic with Catherine Morland, entangled myself within the madness of the yellow wallpaper, slayed demons with Buffy, yes for credit, got swept away by the landscape of Daphne du Maurier's Cornwall, shared a room with Virginia Woolf, and laughed until my insides hurt within the pages of The Air Affair. Because of this university, I was given the chance to internship at the 2016 Sydney Writers' Festival, which granted me the opportunity to be amongst the most amazingly generous people who provided me with unforgettable experiences, such as meeting Julian Barnes alongside reading one of his novels for an English class, and letting me put my theoretical knowledge about working in the book industry into practice. Because of this university, I was provided with the space to work on my very own writing and help put together the online creative writing journal, The Quarry. Working on The Quarry is one of my most cherished experiences from my time at the university because it allowed me to appreciate what it would mean to become an editor, and it inspired me to want to keep on writing. It made me realize that I had a perspective and a story worth telling. But most of all, The Quarry gave me the opportunity to work with others who have inspired me. We learned to trust in each other's ideas and opinions, forged friendships, and formed writing partnerships that will last. Because of this university, I was encouraged to do what I love, to read, to extend my creative writing skills, and to discover my passion for 19th century women's literature. I was inspired by my tutors, Virginia Woolf, and the like, to embrace this opportunity of being a young woman allowed to study whatever I desired, with no limitations. For this, I would like to express my gratitude to the English department and its head, Professor Antonina Harbus, for providing an environment of support and collaboration. I would also like to say a special thank you to some of my dedicated tutors, Stephanie Russo, Marcel Freeman, Michelle Hammerdash, Rebecca Giggs, and Lee O'Brien for always being there through my writing crises and constantly challenging me to dig deeper. Because of Macquarie University, I have now been inspired to continue my passion for literature and for learning by undergoing a Masters of Primary Teaching. I remember confiding in one of my tutors, sitting in her office, overwhelmed by the choice to leave Macquarie and not undertake the Masters of Research like I had always dreamed of doing. Her advice to me was what I had known all along, but not known how to vocalize. But if you love it, she said, you'll find your way back to it. That's when I realized that I was doing what I loved. My path was just different to the one that I had originally mapped out. Because of this university, I am doing what I love, and now want to inspire the next generations to do the same. So to conclude, all that I ask of my 2016 cohort is that you continue to be inspired. Inspired to create, inspired to try new things, and inspired, as I have been, to do what you love. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Misha, on your degree today and on a wonderful response on behalf of the student body. I think both in Misha and Dr. Green here today, we see the emblem of two wonderful young Australian women who have charted their own course, and I think in those words again today we have wonderful advice. We have advice for our graduands to think about creativity, to think about the opportunity that presents whenever you start doing something new, and to have the perspective to really stay with what your heart is driving you towards doing. That's the message that I took away from Misha. It's wonderful advice. I think she deserves another great round of applause. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that magnificent voice belongs to Ms. Angela Brewer, and we are very fortunate indeed to have her here today to sing for us. In fact, we are very fortunate at most graduations to have Angela sing for us. I'm particularly grateful that she's here. On the odd occasion, there are some occasions when Ms. Brewer is unable to be here, and you should be very grateful as well, because the Chancellor then tells me that I have to sing at graduations. So I think she deserves another great round of applause. Please also join me in thanking our musicians on the organ, Dr. James Forsyth, and on the Chinese flute, Dr. Chai Chang-yin. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the representatives from our alumni community who come along today. Many of them come very frequently to our graduations, and we have some 60 or so graduations a year to assist us to celebrate the occasion. Please join us in thanking the alumni who are here today. Now, graduates, this ceremony marks a change in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it is certainly not the end of your association with us. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of the bigger Macquarie family, which is our alumni. And part of that network, as I mentioned earlier, of 176,000, and by the end of next week it'll be close to 180,000 graduates who are spread across the entire world. We will keep in touch with you through the Alumni Relations Office, and we hope you will come back to visit the university, to enjoy our campus, to attend alumni events, or perhaps indeed, as others have said here today, to come back because of that passion for more learning, to pursue more academic work with us. Now, graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and many great privileges, but like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. And I urge each of you, our newest graduates of Macquarie University, to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry, to set ambitious goals for yourselves, and to continue the hard work that has brought you this far. I urge you also to think of how you can help others along the way. You don't have to do much sometimes. You don't have to be Einstein to change the world. Sometimes simply a kind gesture or a kind word can mean an enormous amount to a recipient, and I urge you to give thought to what you can do for others along the way. I challenge you to continue to exercise sound judgment and initiative, and to always be generous in offering practical advice and wisdom to those you meet on life's journey. My hope is that as graduates of Macquarie University, you will use what you have learned here not only for your own benefit and the benefit of your family, but for the benefit also of the wider community and the world at large in its entirety. And in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. I hope always also that you will remember the people who've helped you along the way, many of whom are here with us today, and I'm delighted that so many are here. So to acknowledge their contribution to your journey with us, I would now ask you to do a few things. First of all, I'd like the new graduates to all please stand. Now I'd like you to turn around and place your testimonies on the seat behind you and face your family and friends and give them, in thanks, a mighty round of applause. Now you can turn around, but please don't sit down just yet, because on the stage behind me are the representatives of our academic community who have supported you throughout your journey. Please join me in thanking them as well. may please be seated. The official party will soon leave the hall, followed by the graduates. As we do, Dr. Forsyth will play the traditional recessional music of graduation ceremonies, which has been played at ceremonies like this over the centuries. It is set to an age-old set of Latin lyrics, Gaudeamus igitur, nos habebit juventutum, which speaks in a whimsical way of youth and old age at the same time, about the brevity of life and the inevitability of death, the state of city and the state of larger countries, and of happiness. Again, I say, Gaudeamus igitur, let us therefore rejoice. Again, to the newest graduates of Macquarie University, my warmest congratulations and every best wish for a life filled with success, satisfaction, and most importantly, happiness. Congratulations again.
The official party will now leave the graduation hall through the centre aisle and will be followed by the graduates. Would you please stand and remain standing until the last graduates have been processed out? Thank you.